Hey y'all, it's Jessie Renee. Today I'm going to be painting like Bob Ross. I did try to do this video last week, but I was only working with my smartphone. That's the only camera that I have. Although Bob Ross and I do share the same last name, I can't pretend to have the same talent as him. So the painting didn't turn out like I was hoping either. It's kind of Today I'm going to be painting an oceanscape on this canvas. Okay, so I'm going to put on my Bob Ross voice, get out my paintbrushes, and you can paint along with me if you like. I'm going to put the colors at the bottom of the screen. Right now I'm just mixing up some black, bright blue, and just a touch of the Caribbean. These are apple barrel craft paints from Walmart, acrylic. And I'm just mixing this up on my big old brush, and we're going to put that right at the top of the canvas. Just like that. You got to make the sounds if you're painting like Bob Ross. All the way across. And that's going to be our sky. Make sure to remember to paint the edges of the canvas if you've got a stretched canvas like I do. And the other side also. And that little corner in there, got to get that. And the tops, because that's really important for having a cohesive painting. Or something like that. So now I'm just painting the rest of the sky, going across the canvas with my big old brush. And of course the sides again, can't forget those. Sorry for the autofocus, you guys. That's just how my smartphone is. It's not very smart, huh? Okay, so now I've darkened up the blue a little bit by adding a little bit more black into that mixture. And I'm painting all the way across. This is the ocean. It's really hard to find a place to grab the canvas without... okay. I think painting the bottom now. I don't want to ruin my painting, so I'm trying to grab it on the edges. And there we go. Paint the ocean on the sides. Oops. Nobody saw that. It was a happy accident. That's what it was. So here we go. I'm finishing this up. And you can see where my thumb was. And although my thumb is very nice, I just don't want that to include that in my painting, because in my world, there are no thumbs in the ocean. You may have a thumb in your ocean. It's your world. Your painting. Now we smooth it out all the way across the bottom. Smooth it out, just like that. There we go. Oh, looks like I left some fingerprints in my sky. I don't have fingers in my sky either. And that made it a little bit darker, so we'll just darken it up all the way across the top. That looks good. So now we're just taking the smaller brush. It's kind of a flat brush, and I have a darker, almost black kind of blue here, and I'm painting some rocks on the side. Basically, it's just dark blobs that I'm calling rocks. I can't really find a good place to show you how I'm doing it because of the glare from the light. It's really shiny on the wet paint. Hopefully you can see this. I think it looks alright. Maybe I'll try some different lighting later on. So I'm just painting a rock here and darkening that one a bit and adding a little extra rock there at the end. Just kind of make it bumpity, however you want to paint your rocks in your ocean. So I've skipped ahead a little bit. Painting's a little bit more dry, and I have tried a different lighting source, so maybe this will be a little bit easier to see. I'm making these rocks a little bit bigger. I feel like these rocks need to be bigger and scarier in my world. Maybe you have mild rocks in your world. And maybe there's some rocks behind these rocks. Most people paint things in the background before the things in the midground and foreground, but I am doing it backwards today and making it hard on myself, apparently. So yeah, I'm just taking this dry brush over here and trying to spread it out, but it's actually taking it off the canvas. We can call this a happy accident too, so let's just go from here. I'll make that a little, oh, it's really dark. Takes that paint off the canvas. So, word to the wise, if you want to paint an ocean scene with rocks behind other rocks, make sure you do the behind rocks first, and then the front rock. What I'm doing now is I'm just darkening up these mid-ground rocks, because they kind of got lost when I painted those background rocks. Or at least the edges weren't as crisp. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to darken that one a teeny bit more. Maybe add another rock right here. That's another little old rock that lives right there. And maybe a cloud, an angry storm cloud, lives right up here in the sky. Sound effects, very important. Maybe he needs a friend, another storm cloud. And maybe they just look like blobs, so let's get a different brush and see if I can smudge them a little bit. Yeah, the fluffy brush. There we go, we'll fluff it. And it's just smudging all over my tiny canvas. Yeah, here we go, smudge, smudge, smudge. Well, made the sky look darker, so that's, yeah, it's a stormy sky. Let's add some dark here. Maybe a little bit more dark. That looks like spots. Let's smudge that too. Smudge, smudge. So I'm just going to take my fluffy brush and fluff the paint, and it looks like I took some paint off. But I think I can work with that. Here's a dry brush. I'll just remove more paint. And it's the moon shining from behind the clouds. And I'll just keep doing that and make it kind of scratchy and organic looking. That looks good. We'll leave it like that. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of darker lines to the ocean to kind of make, some look like some waves there. We're going to add highlights a little bit later on. Right now I'm just doing the darker parts. Get my paints out. I think I'll mix some white and some bright blue. Mix that up. A little bit more bright blue. Mix, mix, mix. Until you get it all good and even. And load your brush up. Just load it up. So now let's go over to the canvas and add some splashes of water right around the rocks. Let's add one at this rock. Splash. And the splashes are going to be a little bit lighter than the rest of the water because it's not as much water and it reflects light a little bit better. And if you're thinking your painting is a little bit too flat, take your fluffy brush and fluff it up. Add some splashes over here. And I'm just throwing down color right now. I'm going to fluff it up a little bit later. That's the goal anyway. Just adding highlights wherever. This is your painting, your ocean. You put the splashes wherever you think they should go. And just like with art, making videos is basically the same thing. I know I don't have studio quality equipment or professional quality paints, but I'm working with what I have, and no matter what you're creating, just use what you have and create as best you can. And eventually you'll get better and better. Just keep practicing. Now I'm going to take the flat part of that brush and do some really, really thin highlights right over the top of the water. Just like that. There we go. And just kind of spread it all around, all over the ocean, wherever you think it should go. I think that looks good like that. Just add a little extra there. Maybe I'll come back in and darken up those rocks a little bit. I kind of covered them up with the water splash, so let's add a little bit more super dark blue to that. Kind of define the rocks a little bit more. I think that looks good right there. Maybe another one right here. Yeah. And why not? We'll just add one more. We'll put the new rock right here. There, right there. Just like that. And like you do at the end of every painting, it's time to sign the canvas. And like I said in the beginning of the video, this is my actual last name, so I'm allowed to sign it like this. And here's the finished piece. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun pretending to be Bob Ross for a minute. Maybe if I get a little bit better equipment later on down the road, I can do a better video. But until then, happy painting, and God bless, my friend.